Welcome to Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis. Guys, is a one-handed backhand a liability? Is there a disadvantage to it? Stay tuned. Alright, so Coach Rob has a one-handed backhand. I have a one-handed backhand. Roger has a one-handed backhand. Stan has a one-handed backhand. But as we see, Tsitsipas has a one-handed backhand. Gregor has
Dimitrov.
And then, don't forget, what's his name with the head racket? With the one-handed backhand. That grips his thing about this.
Richard Gasquet.
Yeah. Right? Now.
Big one-hander.
That's right. But there aren't many. I mean, I don't know what the percentage breakdown is, but I'm sure it's in single digits. Now, I'm attributing that to when you start as a young person, that two hands on the racket is going to be much more easier to learn from.
It's easier to control the racket head with two hands.
Definitely. And then as we progress and teach the youngins, it's more of a left hand dominant shot, right? Versus when we were learning it, it was like a right hand with the left for the ride.
Well, usually you want the right hand pulling and the left hand pushing. So you like them to work together. You know, obviously you're going to finish up with your left hand's going to help bring your follow through around. But yeah, so I mean, I grew up with a two-hander, and then my footwork was not good, and the pro goes, let go and use one.
Whoa.
And I said, okay, I'll try it. He's like, you're tall enough, you're strong enough. Started hitting a one. I could volley with one hand already. And so I just started swinging one-handed, and I could get to a few more shots I couldn't get to with my big feet and my poor footwork. So I ended up with the one-hander.
Do you think in any point of your, let's say, junior career, that it was a liability?
Not too much. The serves, I know, like playing in college, there were some big serves coming at me where I kind of reverted back to being 12 and was like, oh my God, and just held and hoped and, you know, was trying to get the ball back and play that way. But I think as you play and you practice and you adjust and, you know, you have to hit more return of serves, just keep working on that so you're able to put the ball back in play. If it's a flat, hard one, making good contact. If they're kicking it up on you, making sure you're able to chip it back. You know, or making sure that if you see the kick coming, you move up and get it early so it's not up over your shoulders where it's hard to handle.
And you have a continental grip on the backhand too, so I'm guessing you have issues when it's high.
I don't like it high. I try not to let it get high. I'd rather move up and hit it early.
Right.
Or if I have to, back up, throw it up, or have to, you know, chip it back.
Right.
That's where the footwork comes in.
Right.
Reading it early so you recognize what's coming and how you're going to have to adjust to get it in the height you like it at.
So here's the thing. When you have to do this, right, in your mind, where do you go so that you either A, get a neutral ball back, or B, you know, not get one blasted back at you?
Right, so usually you're trying to chip it cross court, hopefully back to their backhand, hopefully deep enough where you have time to recover and that they can't hurt you with the return.
Right.
You know, sometimes you can move up and chip it short and make them come to you so that if they're you know, a good ground stroke or a good baseliner and they may not be comfortable at the net, chipping it short and bringing them forward can sometimes work to your advantage too.
How many one-handers do you teach?
Mostly adults.
Oh, okay. So they've learned already.
Right.
Do you teach anybody a one-handed backhand?
If they came and said, hey, I want a lesson on a one-handed backhand.
Which is how many?
Yeah, might have to get back to you on that one.
Okay.
Most of my students are children and, you know, some adults. So there's, you know, usually you're transitioning into, you know, learning how to volley with one hand or a slice. They need to learn, if they have a good two-hander, they're going to have to be able to hit a one-handed backhand slice. So that's where you start incorporating the one hand off the volley and if they have to slice. And learning how to do that But usually, I haven't, one-handed topspin. I haven't had a lot of students come in looking for that shot.
Got it. Can you show me something? When I'll feed you some balls, and I'd like you to show me like the ways to take it. The ways to take it. You know, like if a low one comes, obviously that's what you want, and then a mid one, how you handle that with your continental, and then like maybe rip one.
Sure.
And then a high one. Okay. All right, so the one shot that every one-hander hates, even Fed,
Dislike maybe.
like when Nadal hit his lefty forehand high into that Fed one-handed backhand. I mean, he used to always have to kind of cut it, and until he was like, he made the decision one day, I'm just gonna have to rip it.
Well, he moved up and hit the ball early, so the ball didn't get up out of his strike zone. And I think he went to the bigger racket heads size at that point.
Okay.
So that he had a better chance to handle that. When you're taking that ball early with so much spin, small head size, you really have to pure it.
Okay, that makes sense. So
we'd have to ask Fed that one. I like Fed, but I can't speak for him.
I mean, he did go to a 97 from a 90, so that definitely helped with a little bit of surface area, plus a little stiffer. So just to push it through helps a lot. Now, I had you go out and show us what to do when that happens, and you did a very, very good job. Now, what's the strategy behind that?
See it coming early.
Okay.
So when you were serving to me and I saw the toss was a little more behind you, and you bent your knees a little bit, I could see it, okay, here comes kick. So I immediately took a step up and wanted to take the ball early. If I could catch it in my waist, great. A lot of it is trying to recognize how high it's going to bounce early. So if I knew you were going to kick it up high, I'm like, okay, I just have to get ready quick so I can hit that slice hopefully deep and keep it low so you can't hurt me up the next shot. And then if it didn't look like it was going to kick as much and I moved up, I could then try to drive it.
Got it. So you're looking for signs.
Right.
You're looking for arc of the back.
Ball toss, arc, knee bend. All of a sudden he looks like this when most of the time he's serving like this. Right. Once I see this, I'm like, oh, here comes kick.
Right.
I have to adjust.
Right. So, but then where did you guide the ball to?
I want to go cross court.
Okay.
A high ball, I could go down the line, but that's already risky being the net's higher, court's shorter. It is to your forehand.
Right.
So I would rather go back over the low part of the net, get it back, hopefully to your backhand. If you beat me with the backhand down the line, okay, well, I can't cover everything, but it does give me a running forehand. I like my running forehand usually.
Right.
So you have, trade-offs.
Got it. Yeah, because I was like, I could go down the line, then I give you a forehand.
Cross court.
Right.
Right.
And then I have to get back to the other side.
Correct.
So going backhand and behind me to take that second backhand is the move.
It is one move for sure to try to go back cross court, chip it back, get into a backhand, try to get back to neutral or find a way to get into an offensive situation where maybe his backhand cross court's not great and it floats a little more in the middle. And then you see them move around it and take it with their forehand. They go inside out or inside in.
Right. But usually that's the liability though. When it comes up high into that backhand, especially if you had a two.
Right. If you have a two-hander, it's a little easier to handle the high ball. You can drive that ball a little bit better. It's not like you're going to have to chip it as much. You're going to, you may be a hard time hitting a lot of topspin with the ball up that high, but at least you're not going to be
Right. At least you have
having
the
to be
second
defense.
hand to kind of push it through.
Right.
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 Okay. Well, thanks for showing us the way, Coach. That
Sure.
you made it look really easy.
Well, having a one-handed backhand, a lot of people hitting kick serves to my backhand. I had a lot of practice.
There you go. Now, any tips out there for them? Just take it here early.
Take it early, or you can play deeper. Like if you know they have a really good kick serve and it gives you a lot of trouble and they don't come in, they're not attacking you, you can play back. Give yourself more room, let it spin itself out, and then try to let it drop into your strike zone. We didn't really show that, but that's another way of doing it. It's harder.
But then you
to
got
do
more.
that.
You got more court to cover.
You have
to
more
do
court,
that,
but if he's not attacking me, if he's not serving and volleying, then I have time to recover
right.
because he's not taking away time by volleying it.
So play like Nadal. play back against the wall.
You can play back. Medvedev plays really deep, and then he has a little bit more trouble with guys that serve and volley because now he's so deep and they're hitting short angle volleys.
Right.
It's a long run.
Got it. So, but if you're standing way back here, you got to take a big poke at that.
Sure,
Yeah.
but you have time because there's no pressure,
That's true.
right?
True.
You have time to let it spin itself out and hit it back.
Right. And nobody serves and volleys anymore, so.
I do.
All right. Thanks for the tips, Coach.
Sure.
All right. Guys, thank you for watching Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis. Guys, are you tired of playing against the ball machine? Ball machine always wins, and you're not really getting any interaction with people. How about playing with somebody at your level, or maybe a little bit better than you, that can improve your game? There's 27,000 people nationwide waiting for you to play with. It's all at playyourcourt.com. You can find your new tennis friend, join local leagues, all for less than $5 a month. You'll have access to players at your level, your speed, and make some new tennis friends. Check it out at playyourcourt.com/tennis spin. Link is below.